Time now for your forewarned weather.
Welcome back to Midday, guys. We've been here since 3 a.m. It's finally Friday. Final show.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
Glad that it's Friday and it's the final show.
I'm feeling like I'm looking forward to hanging out with my bed in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Got a date with it,
Gonna snooze, baby.
Yes. Catching a couple Z's when I can.
Yep. Still got some daytime left for you, maybe a couple hours before you hit that sack. How's the weather looking out there?
Well, it's looking pretty nice, very seasonable temperatures. We're actually right on the money, right where we should be this time of year, but it is August, so that does mean it is going to be hot. Down in southern Utah, we're looking at dry skies, a little bit of moisture there, but not very much. Those are just fair weather cumulus clouds. Not going to see any precipitation with that. We did see a little bit of precipitation this morning, though, on the eastern side of the state. Not a whole lot, just a little bit of a drizzle, and a lot of that was virga, honestly. I was looking at the webcams in the Moab area, and most of that rain wasn't even reaching the ground. And when we see that, we often get gusty outflow winds, which can cause real havoc for the fires. Temperatures right now are in the 80s down I-15. We have some 70s for southwest Wyoming, a couple 90s in the eastern portion of the state, 93 degrees in St. George, and here in Salt Lake, we're at 88. But we are going to be hitting 90 in the next hour or so, and then eventually we warm up to the mid-90s. By the evening hours, we could see a couple of clouds shuffle on through, but again, it's not going to bring any precipitation. Clear skies in St. George for the remainder of the day. Temperatures warming up to about 103 degrees. I know that sounds hot, but that's just a degree above average. Let's talk smoke. This is a view from the Pariah River Outlook. I'm going to step out of the way so that you can get a good view. Not too long ago, this camera was way smokier. You can actually see the ground here. I haven't been able to see the ground on this camera in days. So it is clearing out a little bit, but it's going to pick right back up. Our future smoke model shows where it's going next. What you see in the purple there, those are very thick plumes of smoke. So I-70 up into Castle Country in the Four Corners region over to Lake Powell. That's where we're going to be seeing the thickest smoke. This is Friday or this evening. And then as we get into the late hours and the early morning hours, we are going to see it spread across the eastern portion of the state. It's going to stay east of I-15 for the most part, but we can't rule out a couple periods of patchy haze along I-15, but it's not going to be anything like what we're seeing on the eastern side of the state. All right, we do have fire alerts in effect. The Color Country Mountains and the Central Mountains have a red flag warning in effect until 10 p.m. tomorrow. We also have a fire weather watch in effect tomorrow. This is probably going to be upgraded to a red flag warning as well. Humidity as low as 5% and gusts up to 35 miles an hour. Not helpful at all. And then the red flag warning that you see up there in southern Idaho, that's due to dry thunderstorms. We could see dry lightning and even a little bit of erratic gusty winds. So we don't want any of that. Our upper level futurecast shows us why we're seeing this. We have high pressure, our Four Corners high, and that's dragging that really dry, warm desert south air across the state. It's also acting as a storm block, keeping the moisture to the north of us. That's why Idaho is able to tap into a couple of storms. And that's going to be the case all the way through the weekend and into next week. We could get a couple of showers towards the northwest corner of the state as we get into Saturday afternoon, but it's not going to be very much. And then it starts to get windy as the low pressure system and the high pressure system get closer together. That pressure gradient increases and it squeezes that wind through the Beehive State, bringing really gusty conditions Monday through Wednesday. And then we could open up the door for a little bit of moisture, but with every new model run, it's looking less and less likely, unfortunately. We really need it. Our futurecast shows we don't have a whole lot going on, but we could see another shower pop up towards the eastern portion of the state. A lot of this will be virga evaporating before it hits the ground again. And then as we get into Saturday afternoon, we could see a couple of showers towards the northwest corner of the state as that mostly dry cold front rolls through. But I think by the time the showers hit the Wasatch Front, it's going to be all dried out, unfortunately. We have barely had any rain in the last month here, and we really need it. We're going to be in the 90s for today, right around average across the state. A couple of 80s. Cedar City at 89 degrees, 103 in St. George. And St. George is on a very gradual warming trend, warming by only 3 degrees over the next 7 days. Very hot conditions, windy for your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then we have that slight chance of wet weather on your Wednesday if we do get that monsoon push. The Wasatch Front temperatures hang out right around average. The average for this time of year is 95 degrees, so we stay within a few degrees of that. Windy conditions on Monday, so be aware that fire threat is going to elevate yet again. We could even see critical fire conditions to kick off the work week. Very dry and seasonable temperatures. That's the moral of the story. Alyssa, over to you.